Thanks for listening.
And that was Mike Pence, congressman from Indiana, giving the Republican response to the president's address. So the president hit health care, the Republican response hitting cap and trade.
Yeah,
again, it kind of wraps up to what we were talking about.
Right, because it just seems, let's throw it back to you, Representative Sestak, that it just seems that costs are going up for the consumer all around. We're going to have probably an increase in taxes. Our energy costs are probably going up, regardless of what the plan is. So the consumer is just getting strapped left and right. I mean, how do we continue this and expect the economy to turn around?
I think we can both agree that we have two great problems here. 47 million uninsured Americans. Do we do something about it or not? 15 EPA administrators of the past 4 or 5 administrations all saying climate change is a catastrophe coming. Now, do we do nothing or do something? First, we need the facts. I really respect Mike. However, the EPA just came out in May and said that the cost of the proposal that's now in the House per consumer will be less than a postage stamp, cost of postage stamp per day. What's the right facts? We obviously need to get that, whether it's 4,000 plus, as Mike says, or this. Second, if you notice in this bill that's in the House, it actually is a pay-as-you-go bill. It actually does some auctioning off of these permits, and then the money that's gotten is given to the distributors so that they can give it to the electricity producing plants to keep the cost down. And so that way, that's why EPA says it should come out for the consumer to less than a postage stamp per day. But I will give you this. Prices of gasoline will probably go up 2 to 3%. Now, what's the greater good, doing nothing or beginning to get us and wean us away from dependency on foreign oil?
One of the problems that people have with the government intervention with the cap and trade proposal is that it's a layer of government. Again, it's more and more bureaucracy that you can't track really what's going on. Again, rather we talk about health care, using the tax system to reform health care and change the way we consume it and pay for it, and using the tax system to fix the emissions problems in this country. It's the size of government that's one of the problems that people have with what's happening.
I think that anybody listening today to the last 6 months of debate of what happened to our recession would have said, I just wish government had a little more oversight over Wall Street with the $67 trillion derivatives. Here's what's interesting about the government intervention and what really is a challenge to us. We're doing it by a market system. We're auctioning off permits. We're letting the price ride in a market. That's why I like this. It's not saying strictly this is all you can produce. But you're going to give away a large percentage of those for free initially. And again, the cap and trade system, the auction that was initially set up in Europe didn't work because of the way that the initial credits were priced. But again, we could... Correct.
But
if I could one point on that, if it could, because Mike's made a point about, here's what we're going to do. The monies and those auctions are going to be given permits free to the cement and to the steel industry so that they can compete with overseas. And last, think about acid rain. Oh, we auction them off. They then take them and auction them off so they get the money. Then last is acid rain was actually a cap and trade system here in America, and it did work. You're right. We've got to do this wisely, but do it we must.
Yeah, and we must take a break. We're going to get to your questions about your house. Your mortgage, we promise. 877-249-9626. The email address, yourmoney@foxbusiness.com.
Stay with us here at the Fox Business Network. We're the only business network awake on a Saturday, answering your questions in true HD.